"Michael, what are you doing here?" Emily asked, her voice tinged with suspicion. Michael lifted his gaze to meet hers, and a faint, sad smile played on his lips. "Emily, it's been so long. I live here now and work in the city." "Work in the city?" Emily repeated, a hint of disdain lacing her words. I thought you were going for something more sophisticated. I thought you were stuck in some common job forever." Michael looked at her with a mix of sadness and embarrassment. "Things change, Emily. People change." Silence hung between them for a moment, laden with the weight of years apart and missed connections. Then Emily broke the silence with a nervous laugh. "Well, it's good to see you managed to escape that predictable fate. Anyway, I have to go. I have a potential client to meet now, an important commitment. I've become a lawyer specializing in agriculture, and I have to attend to important people. Sorry, it's urgent." With these words, she turned her back on him, leaving Michael alone amidst the crowd. "I really need to go now, but it's good to see you, Michael," Emily said, bidding a hurried farewell, leaving Michael among the rows of agricultural exhibitors. What would you do if you ran into a former schoolmate who took a completely different path than yours? Now let's rewind to understand how the story of these two schoolmates began. But first, don't forget to like and follow our channel, Real Live Story, for your daily dose of emotions. In a humble neighborhood where the streets were simple and dreams were big, Emily and Michael shared a friendship born in the hallways of a public school. Together, they faced the daily challenges of life in the humble neighborhood, sharing laughs, dreaming of a better future for both. After classes, they walked together through the familiar streets of the neighborhood, sharing stories of the day and making plans for the future. On weekends, their modest homes turned into cozy havens where both families shared meals and laughter. As time went on, life's challenges and personal choices began to chart different paths for Emily and Michael. Over the years, as time marched on, Emily and Michael's destinies took divergent paths, shaping their lives in unique and distinct ways. Driven by her determination, Emily secured a spot at a prestigious law school where she immersed herself in studies and embraced the opportunity to broaden her horizons. She graduated with honors and, after years of dedication, became a respected lawyer, skillfully navigating the halls of justice. Meanwhile, Michael chose to follow a path closer to his roots, opting to stay in the small town he had always called home. Alongside his father, he dedicated himself to the hard work of farming, helping manage the small corn and soybean productions that sustained his family. While Emily delved into complex cases and legal disputes in the courtrooms, Michael immersed himself in the daily tasks of life on the farm, cultivating the land with love and care, honoring traditions that had been passed down from generation to generation. And now, years after they crossed paths in the corridors of a major agricultural event, the paths of Emily, the successful agricultural lawyer, and Michael, the dedicated rural farmer, were about to cross again, triggering a series of events that would challenge their perceptions and lead them to new, unexplored horizons. Destiny was ready to reveal its plans. Emily, surrounded by elegance among the agricultural exhibitors, explored modern advances in agriculture and also aimed to meet potential clients for her office there. Her beautiful yet distant face reflected the sophistication of the life she had chosen to pursue. However, her expression abruptly changed upon encountering someone she had surely forgotten. Before her stood Michael, immersed in the agricultural world, wearing clothes that reflected his commitment to the land. His face, weathered by the rural life's challenges, bore an expression of happiness and surprise upon encountering an old friend again. The unexpected encounter, however, turned into at least an uncomfortable meeting. As mentioned before, Michael and Emily meet after years, and there was a palpable tension between them. Emily showed disdain for Michael's work in the city, suggesting she expected something more sophisticated from him. Michael, embarrassed, defended his choices, but the silence between them revealed the weight of years apart. Emily, in a hurry, abruptly bid farewell, leaving Michael alone in the crowd. Silence fell between them, carrying the heavy burden of memories and suppressed emotions. As she walked away, a sense of regret began to grow inside her, accompanied by an unsettling feeling of familiarity. Destiny was ready to throw a new twist into their lives, one that would lead them to reassess their choices. The second encounter between Emily and Michael happened in a setting as different as it was surprising. The imposing entrance of a large commercial building in the bustling urban area of a big city. Emily, immersed in her hectic routine as a successful lawyer, hurriedly entered the building, her mind focused on the day's commitments. Meanwhile, there he was, Michael, standing amidst the urban hustle and bustle, wearing simple and unassuming clothes. His face, marked by the challenges of time and hard work, bore an expression of surprise, mixed with a hint of bitterness, at the entrance of the imposing building, waiting for a moment to enter. She approached with confident steps, but her expression carried a shadow of superiority. "Michael, what are you doing here?" Emily asked, her voice echoing with a note of disbelief. Michael lifted his gaze to meet hers, his eyes conveying a calmness that contrasted with the hustle around. "Emily, I'm here for a meeting. I have some business to attend to." "A meeting?" Emily repeated, her tone slightly sarcastic. "But well, I never imagined you'd be involved in such important business. I thought you were stuck in the fields forever." Emily's words cut like knives, striking Michael. Nevertheless, he maintained his composure, refusing to let her disdain shake his serenity. "Things change, Emily. I've found my path, just like you've found yours," he replied, with a calmness that contrasted with the tension in the air. He then added, "Knowing that you're a lawyer, could you pass me your contact?" And she quickly responded, "Well, I need to go. I have an important meeting now," said Emily, turning her back to Michael and hurrying into the building. As Michael made his way to his destination room, a feeling of disappointment and discomfort crept in. He couldn't help but notice that Emily hadn't given him her phone number, even after their surprising encounter. A sense of rejection began to manifest, leaving him wondering if his old schoolmate had belittled him once again. On the other hand, Emily felt a whirlwind of conflicting thoughts. While impressed by Michael's humble achievements and his presence at that moment, she felt uncomfortable with the idea of staying in touch with him. His simple attire and expression, combined with his lack of connection to the urban world, aroused suspicions in her mind. She wondered if he might be there looking for a job, if Michael could be interested in borrowing money, or if he might even ask her for a job at her company. Fearing any potential inconvenience, she chose not to provide her contact information, convinced that it was best to avoid any future contact. As Emily and Michael drifted apart, a gap of misunderstanding and distrust widened between them. Destiny had its own plans, and what began as an unexpected reunion between two old schoolmates now turned into a tale of missed connections and suspicion. Emily entered the meeting room with determined steps, her gaze focused on the challenge ahead. The company's administrators were seated at the table, ready to discuss the details of hiring Emily's legal services. As the conversation unfolded, she explained her strategic approach and her experience in the legal field, leaving a remarkable impression on everyone present. Finally, the time came to meet the company's owner, who entered the room with an aura of authority and confidence. Emily felt a chill run down her spine as their eyes met, immediately recognizing the familiar face. "Michael?" she murmured, barely able to believe her eyes. "Emily," he replied, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "What a pleasant surprise to see you here." As Michael shared his story with Emily, the door opened softly, revealing the presence of an elegant and radiant woman. Her presence filled the room with an aura of sophistication and grace. It was Michael's wife, a woman of captivating beauty and undeniable charm. "Michael, dear, sorry to interrupt, but the private plane is almost ready to take off towards the farm," she said in a soft voice, her eyes shining with pride and love. She approached him, planting a loving kiss on his cheek. Michael smiled at his wife, his love evident in every gesture. "Thank you, darling. I'm heading there right away," he replied, rising from his chair. He then turned to Emily, introducing her to his wife with a gentle gesture. "Emily, this is my wife, Catherine. Catherine, this is Emily, an old schoolmate." Catherine nodded in greeting, a warm smile on her lips. "Ah, yes. You're the person Michael met at the event, aren't you?" she commented with a curious sparkle in her eyes. Michael nodded in agreement. "Yes, exactly. Emily is an amazing lawyer and specializes in agricultural business." Catherine smiled in approval before turning to Emily. "Welcome, Emily. I'm glad to meet you." As Michael prepared to leave, he gestured to everyone in the room. "I will personally take care of Emily's hiring," he announced with determination. "I need someone capable of explaining everything to me due to my lack of studies. I want to expand our company even further." With a final wave goodbye, Michael walked out the door with his wife Catherine, leaving Emily in the room. Before leaving, he turned to Emily and said, "We'll talk soon, dear friend. I'll contact you through the phone you kindly gave me at our last meeting. Goodbye." As Emily absorbed the impact of what had just happened, she found herself enveloped in an uneasy feeling. However, as he walked away, a pang of regret crossed her mind. She realized she hadn't given her phone number to Michael as he had requested, so missing out on a great opportunity to expand her law firm. A whirlwind of emotions engulfs her as she realizes what just happened. The glow of satisfaction fades away, replaced by a weight of regret and loss. Emily finds herself facing not only the possibility of a missed opportunity, but also the reality of her own actions and their impact on her life. Now, leaving Michael and Emily's story hanging in the air, I ask you, what would you do if you were in Michael's shoes? How would you deal with the situation after realizing that Emily turned down the crucial contact that could boost your professional expansion? Share your opinion and choices. Would you hire her? Would you act like Michael? Hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like the video, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to follow more stories that will stir your emotions.